This is where things are going to get quite interesting for you, my gorgeous Virgolinis, because in particular on the 22nd of February 2020, we've got quite a few things going indeed. I say we've got quite a few things going indeed, because to start with, we've got a quite sacred numbers, 22nd of February 2020. I am talking about these absolutely unique numbers. I'm talking about this unique energy, which is on another hand going to be able to reflect on us and on our situation in such a wonderful way, because it's going to bring out the certain crystal clear perspective that is just purely and directly coming through from our subconscious mind. This is not going to be like something unusual. This is not going to be something that is completely going to surprise you. This is not going to be something that just came out of the blue, just literally out of the blue. No, baby, no. This is a lot to do with an ongoing stage in your life that is slowly becoming irrelevant. I say an ongoing stage in your life which is slowly becoming irrelevant. It is just on one hand on one hand you're going to be able to set yourself free, literally, and on another hand you're reaching a ridiculously important stage of your journey, a ridiculously important stage of your life, ridiculously important because most certainly this is a lot to do with a very, very heavy karmic baggage, that you had for a long time. I say karmic baggage, it's pretty much so evident and it's very much so obvious that this was actually creating a lot of negativity that did keep you kind of held down to the ground when you shouldn't have been held down to the ground. When I say this, of course I'm referring to the fact that you were just not able to use your own power. You were not able to use your whole energy. You were not able to kind of reach to the highest peaks of the certain dimensions purely because you had to keep going back and you had to kind of come to terms with something very important. It's an important change that is going to take place on the 22nd of February 2020, my gorgeous Virgolinis, and at the same time this is going to be rather shaky, lovely moment in time because it is going to provide you with a whole new perspective. But at the same time I'm so happy because it's all about the bravery and action and having this particular starting point. This particular starting point is going to directly come from the fact, from your own understanding, from your own energy, from your own direction, which is going to be very strong, and most certainly the ground is going to be super fertile when it comes to the actual manifestation at the same time. I am talking about a sacred sequence of the numbers, my gorgeous Virgolinis, and this is nothing unusual that you are going to be affected by it, like so much so that on one hand, as I said, it's going to make you feel very brave, but on another hand, this is just going to create an amazing and absolutely marvelous and absolutely super powerful and very, very incredibly amazing starting point for you. I say this because at the same time your power is going to be enhanced to a very, very high levels, which you're going to be reaching very high stages of your own grounding, of your own strength, and therefore your personal power, it's going to be very promising when it comes to the actual creativity, when it comes to your own rebirth. This is where you will be able to reflect on your life in a slightly different way. This is where you're going to be able to feel this beautiful and rather colorful energy. This is where the optimism is going to kick back. This is where you're going to start living again. This is where you're going to reach an absolutely remarkable, mind-blowing point and level of your own radiance, which is on another hand immediately going to mark the beginning of an important stage when it comes to not only creativity, but it's just about you realizing something important, coming to terms with a certain change. And of course you will know that that you are going to be responsible to actually make a necessary adjustment. You know, a necessary effort is going to be needed from you, but this is all going to come at the right moment and the right time, and you are going to feel your own terms. I say you will be feeling your own terms because you're going to reach an absolutely remarkable high levels of your subconscious mind, which is at the same time going to give you an opportunity to reflect on your life in a slightly different way, in a very powerful way, in a very strong way, in a very significant way, because you're almost going to be kind of feeling yourself slightly differently, and that in itself is going to bring and rather push towards you a rather magical moment in time, because at the same time you will have this sacred power to kind of feel yourself, to feel your life, to feel your bravery, to feel your excitement, to feel your accomplishment through a slightly different eyes. This is going to be very important. I repeat, through a slightly different eyes is going to be very important, because it's going to mean the world of good to you to actually feel this beautiful feeling of like accomplishment, this beautiful feeling of being proud of yourself, this greatest feeling of honor. It's at the same time going to be building you and rebuilding you in all those stages and all of those areas in your life that you have been hurt in the past 36 months. I say that you have been hurt, my gorgeous Virgolinis, because lots of you were suffering in the silence. Lots of you were suffering in the silence, but then at the end of the day, you know, you still held your focus. You knew exactly what you want to do. You know exactly what you want to do right now, and most certainly on the 22nd, this is something that was keeping you going. This is something that was keeping you going, and without you even realizing, it was building you and making you stronger and making you more powerful and making you more solid. So therefore you're able to feel your own strength and your own power through your own spiritual journey, and this is a pure reflection of your own karma, of the things that you have done and things that you have been working on. And I'm not saying that you, my gorgeous Virgolinis, have done lots of bad things, and now you just had to pay for this karma. No, baby, no. It is, the life is very complex, okay? We have all been placed on this earth literally for the certain reason, okay? And basically every single one of us is brilliant. It's absolutely perfect, and it's good for something. Every single person in this world is good for something. Every single person in this world has got its own speciality. Their own speciality, something very special and very beautiful about them, and this is our own essence. This is who we are. We are a remarkable part of this universe, and that in itself, it's an important moment in time, because this is your time to shine. This is your time to show yourself. This is the time to be adventurous. This is the time to be open-minded, my gorgeous Virgolinis. I don't know how to explain this. I'm gonna scream in a minute. I'm gonna scream in a minute. How can you just leave me standing alone in the world is so cold? Maybe I'm just too demanding. Maybe I'm just never mind. Maybe I'm just like my mother. She's never satisfied. I just love that song. But no, this is just so sorry about that. This is so important a moment in time, because it's all about you finding out an important stage in your life that is slowly coming to an end on the 22nd of February, with this beautiful sequency, with this beautiful energy, with this beautiful power, with this beautiful radiance. Is at the same time going to open your eyes. It's going to make you really brave, and this is where something absolutely mind-blowing is going to take stage. An important moment you will have on the 22nd of February. You're going to make a mind-blowing decision, and that mind-blowing decision is going to go far and far and far in your life. This is absolutely wonderful, and it's nothing unusual, because the energy is just going to be absolutely perfect. The balance is going to be absolutely perfect, and most certainly it is all about what you have been been in denial, what you have been in denial with yourself, what have you been in denial, this is where the things are gonna come through, because that particular thing, it's at the same time going to bring you a balanced force because you're slowly coming to an end with this particular stage of your life. Most certainly this is going to be connected to an opportunity that is going to take place at the end of February, at the end of this month, and that opportunity is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Of course, that opportunity is going to take off in August 2020. August 2020 is going to be highly powerful, highly significant time in your life where this is going to take the next stage. So the bottom line is that you will make a decision. You will have an opportunity that is going to come out of this situation almost immediately. So it's all about your mind, and it's all about coming to terms with a certain problem, with a certain issue that it's most certainly going to almost immediately going to provide you with an opportunity that you wouldn't normally have, with the opportunity that you wouldn't normally have. And this is so brilliant, and that opportunity is just going to kind of come up to the surface right at the end of this particular month in February, and it's going to take and it's going to be become really powerful like later on, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in August 2020, like exactly within the next 6 months. You know, this is going to be like an important central stage of a rather high vibration when the things are going to be happening quite a lot, and you're going to find yourself being quite busy, but you're almost, you know, it's going to be quite interesting how many things are going to be unfolding and happening in the background without you even realizing. And this is because now this stage is also going to not only kind of like it's going to help you to pay attention to certain things around you, because it's going to be highly powerful time when it comes to your own self-illumination, but at the same time things are going to be unfolding for you that you have been like a kind of storing at the back of your mind what you were thinking about, what you were hoping for to achieve. Now this is the time of unfoldment. Very important moment in time, because the 22nd of February, my gorgeous Virgolinis, it's also going to become and the moment in time when you're gonna start to have your own spiritual awakening. Very important moment in time, very significant moment in time when it comes to your own development. And this is just so important, and I can't even express enough how powerful this time it's actually going to be. This in itself, immediately, it's not only going to become highly self-illuminated moment in time, but it's immediately going to really confirm something to you, what you have been thinking about in the last 3 months, what you were worrying about in the last 3 months, what was bringing you down in the last 3 months as well. But most certainly it's about this resolution of that negativity, resolution of that problem that took energy away from you without you even realizing. But it's all about the conclusion, and it's also at the same time it's going to resolve in such a beautiful healing. I really like it because it's about satisfactory result, and it's about a beautiful compromise that you are going to have at the same time, and that is also going to shake you up a little bit and make you bring this inspiration. Now this inspiration is at the same time going to be different. This inspiration is at the same time going to be so powerful that I can't even explain to you, because it's the vibration that you never felt before, the vibration that was missing out of your life, you know, that wasn't part of your life for the last 7 years. You haven't felt this absolutely remarkable, mind-blowing, vavavoom-ish type of a vibration. Is just so important. And the letter J, it's also going to be rather significant when it comes to the certain answers, when it comes to the certain optimistic moment in time, when it comes to the certain inspiration as well. Letter J, it's going to be quite significant, but most certainly it's all about this beautiful healing energy, and it's about the satisfaction that you are going to feel. And it's fantastic because it's also shake you up to the point and remind you as well. At the same time, it's gonna inspire you. And I can't explain how important this feeling is going to be, because it's also going to be an integral part of your spiritual journey. Because what is going to happen, you're gonna be shaken up like so nice nicely and so beautifully that at the same time you are going to realize which people and which relationships are very important to you. Perhaps you just maybe didn't pay attention to certain people in your life. Perhaps you didn't spend some time with a certain people in your life. Perhaps you were really, really busy. The things were quite tense, and maybe you weren't feeling that particular balance in order to see people, in order to meet people. So now most certainly this is going to be great, but it's very important to have people in our lives. It's very important to spend time with people. It's very important to share the moments with people. So this is what I'm talking about, because this is a lot to do with your life in general, with getting things back on track, with a new starting point, and most certainly it's a lot to do with the issue that was kind of preventing you to move on. It's to do with the self-denial, what I started to talk about this particular date. It's an issue to do with the self-denial, realization, understanding, beautiful vibration, making an important decision, and just discovering your life again and enjoying yourself, because that moment in time is going to be very important, because it's also going to mark a new starting stage, a new starting point, which is just going to create an absolutely mind-blowing moment in time when it comes to your own spiritual awakening, when it comes to your own understanding. You're going to reach a very deep levels of subconscious mind. So it's not only the 22nd of February, but it's from the 22nd of February right until the end of that month. You will feel a very, very high and deep levels of your subconscious mind. So it's going to be very good to like smudge your home a little bit, with a dry sage at least once a month, because it's going to help you to protect yourself, because spiritually you're going to be quite open, which is brilliant. You will be able to pick up on all sorts of things. You will be able to get lots of things. You will be able to understand lots of things around you, to connect to lots of things around you. This is normal. But at the same time, when you're so open spiritually and psychically and on so many different levels, when it comes to your own mediumship, when it comes to your own energy, it's great. But then again, at the same time, you become like a little bit vulnerable, because this is dragging your energy a little bit. It can affect your energy in many different ways, but most certainly the understanding of the actual subconscious mind on such a higher level can become draining, of course. And this is why I say that it's very important to protect yourself, like by smudging your home. Very important to protect yourself with to surround ourselves with little objects, that mean something to us, with a little spiritual object, perhaps little flowers, little plants. Look at this aloe vera baby. It's just basically about this connection with the spirituality. I say flowers and plants because they're very spiritual. The trees are very spiritual, very important for like a spiritual grounding. Again, try to hug the tree in between the 22nd and the end of this month, because at the same time, by hugging a really beautiful tree that you pick, you need to know that that tree actually picked you. So when you choose the certain tree, that tree actually chose you. And then once you find this relevant tree somewhere in a beautiful forest, somewhere, you hug the tree, and at the same time you imagine that wonderful, beautiful, very powerful light, white light of a strong, beautiful, silver, beautiful, powerful energy going through you first, and then going into the tree, then going into the ground, then going back through the ground through you, and then going into the tree through the roots, and then through the ground. And 3 times you imagine this wonderful, powerful energy while you're hugging a tree. This is a very powerful time of meditation, which is at the same time going to rejuvenate you. It's going to be very powerful for you. It's going to help you with your own grounding, but it's also going to invite very important messages that you are going to have after that moment in time, because it's going to penetrate your psychic mind, your spirituality, your mediumship, because at the same time you will be reaching at ridiculously high levels of subconscious mind when it comes to expansion and travel into the universe. And this is something that is going to rejuvenate you, but at the same time it's just going to open your eyes, and at the same time it will be confirming things to you throughout the actual months. Very, very important moment in time, my gorgeous Virgolinis. This is absolutely remarkable. You see, it's the time of wisdom. You will reach the highest levels of wisdom, my gorgeous Virgolinis, and this is going to be absolutely brilliant indeed. Okay? My name is Sasha Bonasin, and I'm a psychic medium, and this is your monthly horoscope tarot card reading, and it's for you, my gorgeous Virgolini, and it's for actual February 2020. So it's for you, my gorgeous Virgolini, and it's for February 2020, and you're basically your number this month, it's actually number 2. It's numerology, it's number 2. I'm going to explode right this moment in time. Look at this. In numerology, your number is 2. We are in February, that's number 2. Your number is actually 22nd of February. This is absolutely remarkable, because what this is doing is number 2 is just confirming to you, listen to yourself. Don't miss these opportunities, my gorgeous Virgolinis. I'm not saying that you're going to, but just listen to yourself. It is very important to not to be in denial. Very important to not to slow yourself down. Very important not to ignore the inner voice, because the inner voice is going to be like Pavarotti this month. Your inner voice is going to be like Pavarotti this month, you know. It's just going to be so strong, and it's going to be so loud, and it's going to be almost impossible to ignore. And this is why you just use this time in order to kind of benefit from this serene knowledge, because it's all about the actual common sense in a certain way. It's doing things you want to do, but sometimes because lots of other things are happening, maybe the balance is not just right, and just we miss out on a certain opportunity because we have a leak of energy, the energy drainage, which is affecting us in a certain way, and it's not giving us a crystal clear focus about our lives, about our future, and that prevents us to attach ourselves to the very close parts of our future planning until we realize and until we see by ourselves what's going on, what needs our input, what needs a little bit of changes, what needs a little bit of adjustment in our life. And once we do this, then we can help things, you know, to things to come to an end. And our way of thinking, our power of thoughts, it's the energy. The thinking is the energy. And this is why as soon as we come to terms with certain things, this is exactly how things are going to unfold. So it's very important to be as open-minded, very important to understand that this is a very highly important time when it comes to your education. You will learn something very absolutely mind-blowing by the end of this month. You're gonna learn something mind-blowing about before the end of this month about yourself, Virgolini. Okay, my babies? And that is also going to bring you balance that you didn't have before. At the same time, you're gonna get an advice that is gonna change your life literally, and it's just going to bring you balance and vibration that you didn't have in a long time. That in itself, it's also going to really help you out to think about your own practicality. And then on another hand, it's just all about the hidden emotion that it's going to come to the surface. Hidden emotion, your spiritual awakening, the new start, new beginning. From the 22nd of February onwards, it's like, oh my Lord, it's just amazing. So it's all about your own discovery, and it's all about staying true to yourself, and most certainly it's about being analytical and but also enjoying your life, making an important decision, realization, and also about those times that have been kind of restraining you. It was pretty much so long time that you felt a little bit frequently restrained. Whether this was the power of your thoughts, it just didn't want to leave you away, you couldn't kind of relax and chill out, and this is all normal. It's because of this lots of things were going on in your lives, and it's just kind of created a little unbalance. So now this is going to be so good, because in particular, you know, an overburdened feeling that you had, excessive pressures in particular within the last 10 months, my gorgeous Virgolinis, now you're going to be able to kind of deal with this so beautifully. It's so good because it's just basically you will just know that these issues are going to come to an end through this particular progress, and that in itself, you know, it's important because this was creating you, preventing you to move on, because it was creating a difficulties in launching new projects indeed, and because this was affecting you. So this is why this is such an important moment in time. It's about the accomplishment, you know, at the same time it's about the actual influence, this perfect influence as well. At the same time, somebody was very influential influential, and subconsciously you were listening to someone, you were focusing towards someone, some kind of spiritual leader or someone. So this is going to also be a confirmation at around the mid-month. You're some kind of spiritual leader of yours. Somebody is just going to come to your mind at the right moment, at the right time, and it's also subconsciously through the all beautiful waves of energy. It's actually, but with an element of surprise, and when you least expect it, it's going to be confirmed to you. Whether this is going to be while you're dreaming, while you're sleeping, while you wake up the very first thing in the morning, it all depends, but most certainly confirmation. It's going to be very much so about the beginning of your own transformation. So I would highly recommend that throughout this month as well, if you can clear away the old in order to make a place for the new. It's very important because the energy is going to be like a very powerful energy of a new moon. So the energy of the new moon, what it's doing to us normally, it just brings out in us, basically just go with the flow, go with this wonderful energy, go with this beautiful energy, and especially when it comes to the new beginnings and starts, but at the same time you kind of temper with this energy in such a way where you kind of work with it, you swap this with something else. At the same time you can give this baby to somebody as a present, so karmically you do something good, but then you replace it with a different energy. It's like a yin yang, an important moment in time and quite significant to actually do this. Also an important investment you will have this month. On another hand, it's just basically about an important bright prospect that you're actually going to have at around the end of this month, but it's just one step at a time, my gorgeous Virgolinis, one step at a time. Wow. My advice is be as adventurous as you can, be as open-minded as you can. When it comes to your health, this is so important to take care of yourself because it's pretty much so about the energy drainage. On one hand, you're gonna have the return of energy and the healing impact on those stages and those areas of your life, healing impact on a long ailments that you didn't actually see any improvements about. So this is actually going to be quite good because it's going to be quite rejuvenating months when it comes to that. But on another hand, when it comes to a cold and flu and your stomach and inside your mouth and the aluminium, you see, just try to get deodorants which are aluminium free, please. Aluminium is vile and aluminium is very dangerous, and we have been conditioned in such a way that we are sold all sorts of rubbish out there, all sorts of chemicals, but they are doing so bad to us, aluminium deodorants, they block our pores. I spoke about it before, but it's so dangerous to do this. This is not how it's meant to be. I'd rather smell. I know it sounds horrible, but I go to the gym, I work out, and I use aluminium-free natural deodorant, and it's working absolutely fine. So please try to stick to start with to aluminium-free natural deodorant. Number 2, inside your mouth, your gums are going to be very sensitive. Make sure that you're using natural fluoride toothpaste. Natural fluoride, make sure that you're using fluoride free toothpaste, natural fluoride free toothpaste, okay, with tea tree maybe and aloe vera. It's quite good. And the same with mouthwash, natural mouthwash without fluoride, with tea tree and aloe vera would be quite nice, okay? So this is going to be quite good for inside your gums, fluoride free. And also the actual organic acerola cherry powder, it's going to help you at the same time with rejuvenation when it comes to your cold and flu, what I said, and also it's going to help you with the healing of your gums as well. So organic acerola cherry powder, it's a natural source of vitamin C. I talk about this every single time, probably sick by now, but I'm so sorry, but it's just something that I highly recommend, and it's what people need when it comes to rejuvenation, when it comes to take care of the cold and flu. Even if you get a cold and flu, you're just gonna come to top much quicker, much sooner. You're gonna get better much sooner if you're taking an relevant amounts of vitamin C. So this is something that I highly recommend you. And aluminium free deodorant, of course. So it's basically, and also When it comes to your own digestion, my gorgeous Virgolinis, I think it would be quite good when it comes to your stomach and digestion, just once a week or a couple of times a week when you wake up in the morning, just try to take organic smoothies, try to make your own smoothie. It would be ideal, at least a couple of different, maybe like a blackberries and blueberries, strawberries, goji berries, as many organic berries as you could. It would be fantastic because it's going to regulate your digestion, but also at the same time it's going to be very good for your liver and kidneys. This month will be important to pay attention to your liver and kidneys as well. Quite sensitive time. So if you can sip like a kind of like organic dandelion tea, that would be quite brilliant because it's going to help you with the liver detox quite nicely. If you're on any other medications, if you're pregnant or if you're breastfeeding, you just need to check with your doctor. You just need to check with your GP, because only your doctor or GP can actually help you whether this can interact with your existing medications or not. Okay, so now the very first date that I need you to pay attention to, it would be the 2nd of February. Look at this again, the 2nd of February. This is absolutely remarkable. Now the 2nd of February is just basically 2-2. Look, again, we have got a rather sacred sequence of the actual numbers. The sacred sequence of the numbers is also going to bring out to you not only the beautiful sense of security, which is going to help you out to realize that there is an important adventure about to develop for you and to unfold for you, but something very unusual is going to take place. Something unusual is going to happen, something weird and strange, which is going to make you think in a certain way. And this is purely because we are having a sacred sequence of these numbers, very much so taking over the whole energy, and that in itself is going to reveal the adventure. And but at the same time, the slight element of like kind of unknown, uncertain, and the surprise within yourself that you actually felt attracted to the certain part of your life, to the certain journey that you would think that you are not ready before. It's important to follow your own creativity and to trust yourself at the same time, my gorgeous Virgolinis. Very, very important. On another hand, what else I was going to say is just basically now also the 2nd of February, it's going to bring you an amazing success, and you're going to overcome an absolutely annoying obstacle that was just kind of like a problem, an issue, annoying issue that was like kind of sticking out in the last 7 months. But at the same time, it's going to make you feel very overwhelmed because you're going to surprise yourself, because you're just going to find yourself on a highly advanced level. That in itself is just going to be all about the advantage and your own victory, personal victory, and the victory when it comes to an absolutely important stage of your life just showing itself to you. On another hand, this is also going to kind of like a reveal successful negotiation. There is an important negotiation you will have this week, and that negotiation also means that if you want to negotiate, if you want to start something new, if you want to start something big, if you want to have an important sacred beginning, then the 2nd of February would be absolutely fantastic because of this particular sequence of this numbers, which is also marking an important stage when it comes to your own spiritual awakening. Watch this space. This is going to be an important, active and determined moment that you will have, and this active and determined moment that you're going to have, it's going to be the reflection of what you know how to do, what you're experienced at, and what you actually need to do in order to kind of move on. There is an important analytic moment going to happen, but it's pretty much so to do with the ideas and designs that you are going to have, which is going to lead ultimately, beautifully, nicely to a very important moment of a material gain. I highly suggest you to get something like this gorgeous, like you see this tiger's eye crystal, very gorgeous, beautiful tiger's eye crystal, and this is something that is going to create even more powerful vibrancy. It's going to protect you against evil eye, but at the same time it's going to be very good when it comes to decision making. It's very good when it comes to changes, but especially when it comes to prosperity, because it's going to attract the prosperity even more, but at the same time, it's going to protect you. This comes with a sterling silver setting and a sterling silver chain, and the link to buy this is in the description below. By buying things from my channel, you're also supporting my channel as well. The second important date, my gorgeous Virgolinis, it's actually going to be on the 19th of February, 1-9. 19th of February, it's all about the actual balanced force, that your balanced force, it's going to give you strength and power, because you will come across something like an unusual situation, and you will feel like, normally you would feel like you don't have a relevant experience, you don't have a relevant knowledge, but the balance is going to be so perfect. There's a very firm energy that is just going to be rather refreshing at the same time, so you will feel your own capacity, and that is going to surprise you, because you will do something and which is going to surprise you, and it's going to surprise you people around you. And at the same time, this is going to be so good, because this is going to be the beginning of an absolutely amazing, incredible stage in your life, and that in itself, it's going to be a very important moment when it comes to your own wheel of fortune moment, when it comes to your own liberation, when it comes to your own happiness, because it's all about the outcome that you're going to find yourself in an advanced stage very beautifully, and it's all going to start drifting towards the very, very good moment in time when it comes to you feeling better, you starting to feel optimistic. It's about the culmination, conclusion, but it's all about this feeling and realization. Oh, thank God, you will be able to come to an end to a problem that was really preventing you to move on. And it's wonderful, because it's all coming from this unexpected event, and it's going to lead towards the greatest perfection, realization, recognition, honor, and then at the same time, this is going to lead towards an ultimate change. It's what you do, what you're meant to do, what you should be doing, what you're capable of doing. It's so brilliant. It's about the rewards from hard work, success, and admiration of others. This is all going to take place. Absolutely wonderful indeed. On another hand, the third date that I was going to tell you, it's actually going to be on the 28th of February. It's important to see what's calling you. There's a certain little journey that is going to be hidden in a grassy, but it's going to come like a tiny little baby learning experience. So there is something that you're going to need to top up on when it comes to your own knowledge. This is going to be very much so something that will be very strong, very powerful, and it's something that is later on going to be set in the stone, because most certainly it's going to help you to breach and to reach and to get hold of the very high stages of your own life. But that in itself, it's going to be pretty much so to do with your own passion, what you want to do, and it's going to help you to emerge in a completely different level. And this is nothing unusual, because you are going to be having a very special moment, and you will be going through an ancient healing wisdom. When that happens, at the same time, you're able to look at the things in a slightly different way, in a slightly different angle, but you are going to need to kind of like try to reflect on things as much as you can. So anything that you see, you must not miss. Like, for example, you see this candle and you're thinking, oh, it's a gorgeous candle. I wonder how, this is what it is. I wonder how did they do this? How did they do that? How did I, how it's so beautiful inside? Like anything like that you can teach yourself is just going to take you somewhere else, and it's going to create a moment of rebirth, and it's going to provide you with a vision and promise that you wouldn't normally have. That's the 28th of February. On another hand, it's so good, because it's about a certain success that you are going to feel here, about your security and power, and it's a lot to do about material attainment and finding yourself in an advanced level. It's so good. And the little uneasy moment that you had within the middle of the month when you made like a kind of some kind of decision, but you were just really worried, oh God, is this the right thing? Now you're going to have a confirmation that it was the right thing here. And it's all about the abundance, good health you will have here. Another victory coming through, fantastic when it comes to the difficulties, but this is in particular with a long wish. This is in particular with a long wish that you had, something that you were working towards, working for, which is most certainly going to become a relevant part here, because it's all about the prosperity, well-being, and luxury. Absolutely fantastic combination of energies here, and it's important to kind of like also try to meditate here and ground yourself if you possibly can on this particular day. Someone who means to you so much, somebody who is a very powerful figure in your life, like somebody really nice, really beautiful, really gentle, really kind, it's also going to give you an important advice on the 28th of February. But this is somebody who is in your life, somebody who means to you, somebody who is important to you. It's going to give you an important advice here, okay? And somebody who you really look up to quite a lot, actually. What else I was going to recommend to you is the black obsidian. It's so important because of what I said before, because you, my gorgeous Virgolinis, are going to be kind of very powerful throughout this month. You're very powerful signs anyway. We are, of course we are. So we have got a crazy amount of energy. We have got an amazing energy when it comes to our inner power, when it comes to our subconscious mind. We naturally go as far as anyone can possibly go. We are born like this. We are born like that. We are very powerful in many different ways, because sometimes we can understand so much about life, you know, at an earliest possible age, you know, at an earliest possible stage. This is because we are naturally psychic, not only an empath, you know, but we are like psychics in a complex way of being psychic, because it helps us, it allows us to reach the highest levels of subconscious mind much quicker, because we contain the whole complex of different energies, which helps us to feel the vibration in a completely different way and to be certain of the things, you know, that other people are not certain, you know. We have a confirmation for things when other people don't have confirmation for, and this is coming deeply from the deepest levels of our subconscious mind. This is why saying February in particular is going to affect us, and this is why basically it's good to have a black obsidian, because when we are spiritually open, we are like a bit more sensitive at the same time. Black obsidian is going to help you with the grounding, meditation, but at the same time it's going to protect you against all sorts of negative energies, negative impact that other people could have on us throughout this month. This comes with a beautiful sterling silver setting and a sterling silver chain, and the link to buy this is in the description below. By buying things from my channel, you're of course also supporting my channel as well. Okay, so now the very first part of the actual February is just all going to be about the realization, because the first day, you know, the very first day is just going to be very powerful and vibrant energy that is going to slap us in both of our faces beautifully until we realize how passionate we are about a certain stage of our lives. This is going to be the moment of the certain refreshment that is at the same time going to help us to realize that there is a very big unfoldment of event about to happen. It's so good because it's going to be directly connected to you, to your home, and to an ability to make an amazing impact when it comes to your home, when it comes to the big change, and when it comes to the ability to do so. On another hand, you're going to start feeling really great here, really honored, you know, for many different things when it comes to your own success, and this is going to mean the world of good to you, because at the same time, the first part of February, it's going to create, of course, a mind-blowing turning point, and mind-blowing turning point is just going to bring you beautiful feeling of belonging. It's going to kind of confirm things to you. It's going to make you feel so much better, but most importantly, it's about the spiritual petrol that you are going to receive at the same time. I say spiritual petrol because it's going to be highly powerful time when it comes to your Vavavumish energy, and you will know that there was a missing puzzle that is going to come into our lives. Now this is the time of changes, this is the time of adjustment, time of readjustment, but it's also time when the people are going to start returning into our lives. I'm not saying that the people were missing out of your lives, but I'm just saying that there is someone in particular that's going to return into your life. Please don't think I'm not talking about a lover, boyfriend, girlfriend. No, baby, no. I'm talking about the people. I'm talking about the friends. I'm talking about the family members, people who belong in our lives. Maybe some of them have drifted away slowly. So this is going to be the magic moment of connection, reconnection, and it's important people that are going to become the part of the scenario. On another hand, you know, it's this turning point. It's also going to bring a missing puzzle into your lives when when it comes to the nostalgic moment, there is something in the past, something from the past that's going to require your attention. Something happened in the past and you're just going to now have a very strong bridge moment. This bridge moment is going to make the connection very powerful when you sleep, when your subconscious mind is really at its peak, when you're meditating, when you're grounding yourself, and it's just going to create a very strong connection. So therefore, there is some kind of connection from the past that is going to become very strong, very relevant. It's going to require some kind of like an input from you on one hand. On another hand, this is also going to kind of confirm something to you. You will know what to do. And then again, this is a missing puzzle. Just remember, it's about to bring you an insight with an ongoing problem, and also at the same time it's going to really be good for your happiness, and it's going to mark the return of a very, very special stage in your life, my gorgeous Virgolinis, because now that is going to be directly connected to a certain synchronicity with somebody else that is going to be so important, and it's just going to make you feel so good. And there is a very important person that is going to become relevant now even more by the time we get to the second part of February, who is just going to inspire you. Sometimes when the certain people are meant to be the strong part of our spiritual journey, we learn from them so much, and they learn from us at the same time. They inspire us in the beautiful way, but we inspire them at the same time as well. It's the time of happiness, excitement, and ideas when they become very relevant, because they come through the right person, from the right person, from the right direction, just right at the right moment in time. So this is like this is the mid-February. It's going to be very important when it comes to this, and also it is to do with there is a group of people that it's very close to you, like a family members, or even a group of people like at work somewhere, maybe like it's a hobby. However, there is a problem that is going to arise, and you are going to be very important to put an input, an adjustment. It's going to need to come from you. You're going to have a sacred way of thinking. You will be directly responsible with a certain problem or a certain issue, because you will say something and it's going to come to an end. A fantastic time for problem solving indeed. On another hand, what else I was going to say, the mid-February, it's also going to bring you a wonderful new start, a wonderful new beginning, the time of rejuvenation, the time of the super beautiful power. It's going to bring you new direction with unlimited possibilities and lots of optimism. It's just going to become a very beautiful butterfly moment. Lots of butterfly moments of transformations are going to take place. On another hand, certain inheritance, it's also going to mid-February, it's also going to bring like a certain inheritance, but it's like to do with a certain problem, an ongoing problem. So it may be like inheritance that was kind of stopped and now it's going to come through. Maybe there was a problem that needed to come towards you, and there's something happened, it just took slightly longer, and now it's going to come through. Do you understand what I mean? It could be like an inheritance, or it could be like a certain amount of money that was meant to travel to you, meant to come to you, but something was like, you know it's yours, you know it's there, but something kind of slowed it down. It could be anything. So this is good because this is going to come through. The money, the financial situation mid-February is going to start looking really good and very promising, and that it's going to have not only beautiful enlightening effect and impact on you, my gorgeous Virgolinis, but it's going to immediately give you a vision, provide you with a vision, with a confirmation. And this is so good because it's to do with a beautiful idea, an incredible idea when it comes to the certain prosperity, absolutely beautiful when it comes to the certain success. In fact, by the time we get to the last part of February, you're gonna be like a wizard, you know, like when it comes to your psychic moments, psychic times, when it comes to your preservance, your vision, when it comes to the future planning. But it's just all what you normally feel, all what you normally do, all what you want to normally do. But now this force is just going to be confirming for you at the same time, and you're going to feel very balanced, you're going to feel very strong, and you're going to feel proud of yourself. It's important because it's all about a certain authoritative person, and person of authority is also going to confirm something to you at the same time, and it's so good and it's so brilliant, and it's going to make you feel so honored in so many different ways. ways. And maybe if you were like kind of uncertain, you know, like about a certain vision, this is just going to change, because at the same time it's going to bring you a determination that you wouldn't normally have. And that in itself is just beautiful, going to provide you with a moment of powerless situation, that you were powerless, you weren't too sure what to do with in the last 8 months in particular. So the powerless situation is going to reach the very beautiful moment of your own liberation. It's so good because it's all about the hope, faith, inspiration, and the bright prospects that are going to come through immediately. But at the same time, you're going to move away yourself from the person that was providing a toxic environment for you. It was bringing you down. Somebody who was scrutinizing you slowly came to an end. Very dark person, not dark in appearance, but dark energy, very low, very slow. So that person is going to come to an end, and it's absolutely brilliant. You know, it's to do with a certain moving on. It's to do with a certain forgiveness at the same time. Do not hold any grudges, and you will be absolutely fine, because it's going to bring you beautiful healing energy instead of like a just kind of like a changing things towards the direction that you don't actually want. But most certainly, you know, the balance is going to be absolutely brilliant, and it's just to do with the future. At the end of February, it's going to be an integral part of your life, because you will know exactly what you will do. You will know exactly how your life is going to change. But it's not only about that. It's about this particular vision. It's about this powerful moment that is just going to make you and help you to reach the highest levels of your own creativity. This is a beautiful moment in time, and I'm so happy for you, my gorgeous Virgolinis, because it's all about the creativity, excitement, success, and making sure that you're doing things at the right moment in the right time. You're reaching the high levels of creativity, so that is all about the hope, faith, and inspiration, and a bright prospect that is literally going to change your life. It's about mixing of the old, past, and present, and creating this absolutely remarkable, mind-blowing moment of optimism and fulfillment, satisfaction, pleasure, and happiness. You know, absolutely beautiful. And I'm so excited for you, my gorgeous Virgolinis, because the end of February is marking a very special stage when it comes to your own transformation. It's just like a basic about the return of the power, you know, the return of the power, the return of this beautiful confidence, the return of this beautiful energy, which is just going to confirm things to you and just make the actual focus crystal clear and providing you with a whole new perspective. I'm so happy for you, my gorgeous Virgolinis, indeed. Okay, so now I'm just going to find the little cardies. Bam, bada, bada, bam, bam. How could you just leave me standing alone in the world is so cold? Maybe I'm just too demanding. Maybe I'm just like my father, too bold. Maybe I'm just like my mother. She's never satisfied. I love this song. Sorry. Maybe I'm just like my mother. How could you just leave me standing alone in the world is so cold? Maybe I'm just too demanding. Maybe I'm just like my father, too bold. Maybe I'm just like my mother. Okay, my gorgeous Virgolini. So now, sorry. Now, basically, I'm just going to shuffle these cards, and I'm going to connect to those of you that are in relationship. This is an incredible moment in time. You know, you're reaching a very special stage. Your partner is going to do something very important, very significant, and it's just going to bring a rather nice Varvomish energy within you. Maybe there wasn't enough action. Maybe you weren't having enough Varvomish time. Maybe like things haven't been working just that well. Maybe you were working too much. Maybe your partner was too much working. You know, it's just like there was a certain balance that was affected, and maybe just like we're just really busy with different things. So this is an important moment when two people will get together, but it's going to come from the fact that your partner is going to do something and it's going to really surprise you nicely. You're going to realize, ooh la la, hello there. It's going to make you feel really good. It's going to bring out all sorts of feelings in you, but most certainly you're going to feel so proud. You're going to feel so honored. You know, you're going to feel very inspired by your own partner, and that is going to be a very important moment in time, because it also financially you will be able to make a very important decision, like ridiculously important decision this month. Okay, so it's quite good, very, very good indeed, because the whole new motivation is going to come through after this month. Okay, for those of you that are single and ready to mingle, like, oh my lord, Virgolini, you know, there is a, you see, you've got like a here, but it's just pretty much so this time it's coming to an end. The negative time is coming to an end. You see, you have to kind of go through the certain experiences. You were kind of really, really busy. There were lots of people that were around you lately, but in particular within the last 10 months, you have been put through the certain test. You have been going through the certain test, and whether you realize or not, it was a lot to do with work, it was a lot to do with a career, it was a lot to do with this particular focus. So this is going to be a really good moment in time, because now that stage is coming to an end slowly, which means that you are going to reach a very high levels of your subconscious mind. That is going to reflect on you of having a lots of energy that you wouldn't have before. You see this, an enlightening moment in time. This is going to be a beautiful enlightening moment in time, but at the same time it's just going to help you to be very creative. At the same time, it's going to be very good for you when it comes to your own transformation, and also it is just coming to terms again, like when it comes to your emotions, when it comes to your life, it's coming to terms with certain things. But what I actually like is that you're going to really like yourself this month. I'm not saying that you don't like yourself, but I'm saying that you're going to be flirting a lot, you're going to be having a great time, and there are lots of attention that you will get. Pay attention, my gorgeous Virgolinis. This is something very important for you to go through. It is the attention that you are going to have this month. This is going to be an eye-opener for you. An attention that you will have, it's going to be mind-blowing. An attention that you will have, it's going to surprise you. An attention that you will have, it's going to be very important when it comes to your confidence, when it comes to when it comes to your self-esteem, when it comes to your inner power. Very spiritual moment in time, because it's something that you needed, something that you wanted, something really big that you're actually also going to learn about yourself by the end of this month. I need you to go out there. I need you to flirt as much as you can. It's not about that, but it's about the learning process, about the learning experience. It's about the boost of confidence that it's at the same time going to become an integral part of your spiritual journey, because it's going to help you with a certain understanding of yourself, but it's also going to help you, even more importantly, to move on, and it's going to confirm the new direction for you. Beautiful moment in time, and when it comes to your own spiritual awakening, my gorgeous Virgolinis, and you're going to like this. Okay, my gorgeous Virgos, thank you ever so much for watching my videos. I love every single one of you so much. I love every single one of you, my gorgeous Virgos, Virgolinis. I'm sending you brightest blessings, lots of love, healing, and light. Okay, my gorgeous Virgolinis, I'm sending you brightest blessings, lots of love, healing, and light to every single one of you. Thank you ever so much for watching my videos. Sasha Bonasin, Psychic Medium. Love you. Bye.